Story Tournament. And I am Melodia, and with me is my former opponent, Ionic Karma.
Greetings, I hope you've all been well today. Oh, looks like we already started. We are doing Ophilia single story, which that means is we're going through the game as fast as possible with Ophilia, trying to get to the end credits, which means beat Ophilia's Chapter 4 boss.
Indeed. And to start off with, you'll notice they use a thing called the path action, which is a unique ability all the 8 characters have. In Ophilia's case, this is Guide, which allows her to just basically lead someone around, and eventually, if she wants, she can summon them in battle for an ability, which will, in fact, be a very important part of this run. It pretty much makes the run.
So at the beginning, all we're doing is just bring a lost child back to his parent, and now we're going to be picking up a few important things. The first important thing we're going to pick up is Tavern Patron who has summon wins. You'll see that to be very useful in the near future.
Indeed, summon wins pretty much makes the first 2 bosses much quicker than they otherwise would be. And yeah, so basically, so if you don't know this game, one of the big systems is that each enemy has a set of weaknesses, and once you hit a set of weaknesses, they go into, and then you break a bunch of stuff called shields, and once you break all of their shields, they go into break mode. Essentially, they're stunned for the rest of that turn and the next turn, and this allows you to do double damage on every damage that you do. And the first boss just happens to be weak to both staff and winds, which the summon just happens to be what does, as well as Ophilia happens to have staff as her main weapon.
So here we're going to see them breaking the counter. So unlike what Melodia says, this is not for damage. We break it so that we get a guaranteed flee, as if all enemies on the screen are broken, you are guaranteed to flee that screen, which is what looks like Polo used, but Mamgar just decided to flee.
Right, it's your choice. For this opening area, I like to break and flee. I think it's, in general, because you're level 1, you're in the long run probably going to be slightly saving time with the ratio of being able to flee and not. That's my opinion. Obviously, if you're going for a world record or something, you're probably not. You're probably just going to be resetting until you get a good time. But under normal circumstances, in my opinion, just from observation, break fleeing in this intro section is probably the way to go. But again, it's not a huge difference most of the time. If you manage to break free every enemy, you won't have to heal before the boss, which still, on top of everything, saves 3 seconds or so.
So yeah, we can see the differences between breaking and fleeing and not fleeing. So like Mamgar in this case just decided to not break and flee, and as a result he is ahead because of good RNG. So now he's going into the first boss. And you'll be seeing him using the summon wins guy immediately. So what we're hoping for here is to get as many summon wins as possible. There's one to break him as quickly as possible. A smooth fight here is just basically as much summon wins as you can get.
Indeed, summon wins both has the breaking help, and when it's broken, it does approximately 270 damage, which, considering this guy has, I believe it's 1960 or something, it's a pretty decent amount when combined with Ophilia's Holy Light, full boosted Holy Light. And that's the other part of the battle system, is the boost mechanic. You'll see these little yellow orbs that are underneath the name of the player character. That is your boost points. And you can use up to 3 of those in any turn. They increase 1 a turn unless you boosted the previous thing. And all they do is they'll increase the power of whatever ability you use, or will do multiple hits with the weapon if you're just doing a normal attack. As you can see, Mamgar finished off really quickly. He got some great luck so far.
Yeah, so you can see that Mamgar actually did not get the wisp that's on Polo's screen. That's because he just did not enough damage to get under half health, but as a result, you also get to skip all the animations that does, so it ends up saving you quite a bit of time, so that puts Mamgar in a quite a sizable lead for now.
440 is a pretty reasonably normal Guardian fight, though, I want to say.
They're also both on Switch, so
okay.
times are going to be a little bit skewed.
So actually 440 is really good in that case. Switch is slightly slower load time, so... and now Mamgar is going to head over to Atlas Dam to get our next character, Cyrus, who is important not just because of his evasive maneuvers, as everyone says, but in my opinion, what's actually more important is that he has the scrutinize ability, which is incredibly important for this run.
Caught by surprise is a bit unfortunate. Luckily, all it does is just waste a little bit of time. There are some caught by surprises that are much worse later on, but for now, it's just a little time loss.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too big a deal. You have a slightly better chance of running at this point because of the extra. I think you get to level 3 after the Guardian, I want to say. I forget if it's level 2 or 3.
Yeah, something Zeno did point out is that because Mamgar did not get the wisp, he will not be able to afford the second pointed hat without selling some items. He might choose to do that. I guess we'll see what happens.
That's an interesting thought. I didn't even think about the fact that not getting the wisp would lower the money amount.
Luckily, there are still plenty of items you can sell if you choose to do it, but it does cost a little bit of time, so we'll see if he decides to do it or not.
Yeah. Also, the wisp means 100% you don't get the soulstone drop.
Yeah, but so no one ever gets that soulstone anyways.
It happens.
It happens.
So there's also the possibility. I've had it happen many times, actually. Enough times that I don't think it's that rare. There's also the drops from the Sentinels. Those can that are upcoming very shortly. Those can drop soulstones as well. So he might not have to grab the extra, but he probably will.
Yeah, that was a pretty
good. It's not a huge time loss to grab the extra, but it's like as long as you don't get the third battle anyway, it's like 5 seconds.
So now we're entering Cyrus's Chapter 1. We're recruiting him. We're going to find a lot of use of him. And what we're going to immediately do is, as soon as we're done with the cutscenes, is scrutinize to pick up a few items. Scrutinizing is a path action just like Ophilia's guide, where you look at the secrets of some person, and then usually we find a hidden item, which is what we mostly use scrutinize for here.
Indeed, and he's also going to pick up a second court staff. We didn't mention this, but they picked up a court staff for Ophilia in Chapter 1. In her Chapter 1, it just does extra damage. But what's very interesting about these single story routes is that's literally the only extra weapons you get. There's one route that gets the Forbidden Dagger on Therian, but for the most part, these single story routes in Octopath, you have very, very little equipment that you actually go and equip and buy. It's very few items in the long run. The only other equipment they're going to buy like a couple, said something about like the pointed hat, and then there's some bracelets for hit points, and very little because you're basically finishing off the bosses before they have a chance to hurt you beyond their initial attacks anyway. And here, they're going to go get 2 encounters, hopefully only 2 encounters, because they need 10 JP to get 30 on Cyrus after his boss. So he can learn the skill Lightning Blast, which is, it's not 100% required, but it's the one that everyone takes because it's the most effective. Ooh, and he got the skeleton. If he can't kill this in one hit, in one round, which he might, no,
unfortunately, in order to kill him turn 1, you need Ophilia to go first. So he looks like he's going to break and flee. So he's going to choose to not go for Lightning Blast, which is an interesting choice.
He'll probably just take a battle on the way to Whistlewood. There's a place. He'll probably just take a battle on the way to Whistlewood to get Lightning Blast, which isn't... It's needed for a boss later, but beyond that, it's really only used for A, to have an ability on Cyrus, because he needs 2 abilities anyway, and B, in case you get the Howler's battle in Whistlewood, which we'll talk about in a minute. But for now, Russell is pretty similar to Guardian. Ophilia will summon. Cyrus is going to Fireball to break the Wisps, and he managed to break Russell as well, which is really good. So he can use the Soul Stone and get the full 400 damage on him.
So already we're seeing a little bit of route divergence in the fight. So something we didn't address earlier is that these 2 runners are doing slightly different routes. So Polo is doing a 3-character inhibit route where you recruit Ophilia, Cyrus, and Tressa. And Mamgar is doing a 3-character route where you instead recruit Ophilia, Cyrus, and Primrose. So as a result, it looks like they're already taking different actions in this fight. We see that Polo still has the Summon Winds guy, but...
No, actually Mamgar took his second NPC because in case he got a Kate. That's the reason you have that NPC.
Oh, I see. Well,
that's the reason you take that NPC.
But you can't get a Kate before... You can't get a Kate inside of this area anyways, so... Okay.
Yeah, so he took the Flurry guy outside in Fling's Grace. And then I think he guided... I didn't notice it, but I think he guided this NPC as well, because...
Yeah, this NPC is from Atlas Dam.
Right. So I believe he guided the Flurry girl, or Flurry guy, not the Flurry girl, Flurry guy outside of, at the entrance of Flame Grace. In the case he got the Kate, which of course he didn't. We haven't seen a free Cyrus Kate in the tournament yet.
I don't,
if you don't know, Kate is... Effectively, think of them as like metal slimes. They're rare enemies that are hard to kill, but give very great experience, gold, and JP if you manage to kill them. And they have 4 hit points. So if you take the Flurry person who could hit 3 hit points and then manage to also do any damage with magic, and then you'll win. It's actually very hard to kill a Kate in Ophilia's single story before getting Cyrus, but it's doable, and it doesn't hurt. It takes like 1 second to pick up the extra character, but you do lose time on Russell. Like as you saw, that Polo caught up pretty well, simply by virtue of having a much better Russell.
Yeah, so now we're going to start seeing a little bit of route divergence as the 2 players start doing a little bit different things. Well, first we're going to go to Whistlewood. I forgot about that. So here is the infamous Whistlewood, the run killer. Oh, that is not good. It's not the end of the world, but that is going to lose a little bit of time being caught surprised by 2 ants and the...
Also, Cyrus does not have Lightning Blast for this battle, which is one reason you actually want it. This battle, the ants are weak to lightning here, and could have summoned that instead of using Luminescence. That's interesting. Oh wait, no, the ants aren't weak to Luminescence. I'm sorry. Frogs are weak to Luminescence though, which is why you get it. It's actually optional. In the ideal scenario, you will not need Luminescence. But for this grind, especially in the tournament where you're not going to be resetting, you get it just for the safety's sake. Because it just makes things so much faster when you do have to kill frogs.
So now we finally, on Mamgar's side, we managed to get the Lightning Blast, which is still not required, but it would have made that fight a lot faster, so it is a bit unfortunate, but it is how it goes sometimes.
Oh wow, the sync right now. They both, right outside of Whistlewood, both got the same 3 frog battle.
Triple frogs. Everyone's favorite enemy in a speedrun.
That's not a horrible encounter, because you actually get a decent amount of JP from the 3 of them.
That is true. You do end up getting like 13, I believe.
Yeah. And now they're going to Whistlewood. Basically, they're looking for 100 JP total on Cyrus. There's 3 battles you can get here. Well,
there's actually quite a few battles in here.
There's 3 battles you can get normally without a Kate, and this is in fact one of them. But he's caught by surprise, unfortunately. Oh, and Mamgar gets the same battle, and also is caught by surprise. Wow, they're going neck and neck right now. That's pretty funny.
So yeah, this is why Whistlewood is as infamous as it is. There's only a few encounters that are like guaranteed 100 JP, and even if you do get the encounter, as you can see, you can still end up getting surprised.
Yeah, this is something. This happens, and unfortunately, you could just not get the encounter if you keep trying. Like, I saw someone running a tournament, not a tournament, a marathon of Cyrus route run. Although in Cyrus run, you have Cyrus alone, and it's harder because you're more likely to get surprised.
We see bugs on Polo's side, and unfortunately frogs on Mamgar's side.
So Polo now is clearly in the lead, simply by virtue of him getting the bugs. He can put evasive maneuvers on right now, and he won't get nearly as many encounters. He could just run to... He'll be going to Ripple-Tide. I believe Mamgar just doesn't go to Ripple-Tide at all. There's no need to ever go to Ripple-Tide, unless you're getting the Soul Stone, but that's about the only... No, you can't get the Soul Stone without doing Ophilia 1. Oh, and now Mamgar gets the Kate.
That is interesting.
That is
for sure.
the troll. That is the troll.
I'm not sure. I don't think he can kill the Kate because he already used his stone, unfortunately, but he's going to try.
No. He could kill it if the Kate had thrown money or done, and then Ophilia summoned and they did the fireball, the Kate would have died.
It was definitely worth the shot, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. But luckily it still gave him enough JP to learn the skills that he needed.
Right. Now Polo's going up to Purgation. He's going to grab a light. I believe it's a light L. I think it's light in here.
It is a light L, and he's also going to be grabbing 20k from a red chest.
Right, a 20k chest, right.
So yeah, here's where the actual road divergence starts. So we'll see Polo's grabbing some items over here, and Mamgar instead is going to be going to Cobblestone to begin to pick up some other money that Polo won't be grabbing because it's just simply too out of the way.
Going to Cobblestone basically to tag it now. One excellent feature in this game is that once you've visited a town, you can just quick warp to it anywhere in the game as long as you're not locked out of it. There's a few cases where you'll be locked out of it, but most of the time you could quick warp to anything. So as long as you just step into the town, you can come back any time, and it's usually just more efficient in speedruns to run around and step into the town and leave than to wait until you have to go there. So he's just going to go tag Cobblestone, I believe, and then just turn around. Mamgar is going to tag Cobblestone and turn around and go south, whereas Polo is going to tag Ripple-Tide, turn around and continue on as well, I think.
Yeah, so Mamgar most likely will be tagging Cobblestone, and then he'll be making his way to Everhold Shrine, which we'll find him picking up 50,000 in a chest, which is like the single most amount of money in the game. In a single chest.
Right.
And
If they had gotten a Kate and killed it, Polo would have probably done Tressa first before Cyrus, I believe, because he would have just popped to the Shrawler Shrine and gotten evasive maneuvers there, and then done Tressa, and then you can kill Tressa with that light L that he picked up. But
it is possible, but killing a Kate and with only Ophilia in a marathon setting is essentially impossible.
Well, it's a 3% chance every encounter, and Ophilia has only like 3 encounters before she reaches that point.
The problem is that it is a 3% but the chance is, killing it with just Ophilia works out to like less than a % chance. It's 1% chance. It's ridiculously hard.
And so, as you can see, Polo just tagged Ripple-Tide and left. Mamgar here is getting the Warrior Shrine, which is a first shrine. Basically, you can sub-job any of the other characters' classes.
So Polo is doing Tressa's single story right now. So we just picked up Tressa, and he's going to go kill Bickenback, and he'll have his entire party set.
Oh, where do you get another light M or another M stone? Oh,
so
you got it outside of Noble Court. That's right.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, you need a light L and a M stone, or I believe it's any L and an M stone to kill Mick and Mac with 3 characters. Though you can kill him with a Wind L, and I'm guessing Mamgar is going to grab a Wind L. I'm not sure.
Well, Mamgar actually canceled Tressa, so he won't be doing this.
Right. I'm sorry. That's right. In the 4 character, you grab a Wind L and kill him, but either way, Chapter 1 bosses go down to large soul stones very quickly.
So we're going to see how fast this Mick and Mac fight goes with the soul stones. He just pops one, and then pops another one, and then they're dead, just like that.
And Mamgar is going to get the Merchant Shrine, which pretty much makes the run. Having 2 merchants pretty much makes bosses really quickly, even the Chapter 4 bosses, because you get 2 procs of hired help in a turn, which does almost 50,000 damage.
Actually, that's something that I didn't even consider. If he's canceling Tressa, that means you actually would only have 1 merchant.
Right, that is true. Polo's gonna have 2. So yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that, but I was thinking about how it's not too much slower. There is the issue of only 1 merchant.
Yeah, I did not think about that until literally just now either. So it's going to be interesting to see how the fights differ with a single hired help as opposed to 2 people with hired help.
Indeed. Especially there's no other real good damage you can get off. You don't really have, like, in the Therian, for instance, he does hit HP Thief with the Forbidden Dagger, which does, a few thousand by itself. But
so
he's probably going to have to use a bunch of extra soul stones, too. And without Tressa, you can't buy them, so you have to run and find them.
So we're going to see Polo tagging the same shrines, the Warrior Shrine and the Merchant Shrine that Mamgar did a second ago. It's not that he's behind, it's just that the route divergences made it so that he's picking up now as opposed to Mamgar who picks it up earlier. Right. Meanwhile, Mamgar I think he's going to go, no, he's not going to pick up Primrose quite yet. Looks like we're going around running to get some more money.
Everhold for starters.
Right, Everhold.
So one thing we didn't mention is Polo and Mamgar both did what we call the save and quit trick. Basically, when you start the game, your encounters are completely reset. And so if you save and quit in the middle of a screen, you can make it through that screen without an encounter where you normally would get one simply because it's too far to walk without an encounter.
Yeah, so we utilize this a lot to go through places that we have no business being in, like the Gold Shore and Grandport later on. These are like danger level 45 areas where we have characters of like level 8. Yeah. So normally you shouldn't be anywhere near here, but thanks to save and quit, we're able to abuse this and do it.
Save and quit and evasive maneuvers, of course.
Yeah, and evasive maneuvers.
Right. Now, what I found interesting is they don't get that 20k there and do a save and quit, but or and then they could grab that Palm M, but that's the route, I guess.
It probably just works out that it's slower to pick it up, and you can pick up Palm M somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's picking it up now, actually. And now he's going to the Runeblade Shrine, which has the most affluent chest in the game, a 50,000 chest. I think there's one other 50k, but I forget where it is. If there is one, I'm actually not sure on that. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I think that is the only 50k, but I don't know for sure. So Polo's now going to the Gold Shore, which we saw earlier in Mamgar's, but he is going to, instead of leaving Gold Shore, go to Grandport as well.
Right, and Grandport has And Tressa is very useful in Grandport because she can start buying a few things. He'll probably pick up a couple palms and I assume that's just that.
So yeah, we pick up a palm and usually a healing grape bunch for a
Right.
little bit of safety.
And he's also doing what is a side quest known as a safe route, which is usually just used for backup money. It gives you 11,000. Usually you just use it if you fail a scrutinize later, which will cost you 8,000 to reset.
So in the 3-character route, you actually utilize that money to its fullest. As 3-character route diverges a little bit from 4-character route, such that we need that money in order to complete the route. So as we see here, Polo is now on the danger level 45 screen of Grandport. So if you get an encounter here, it is very bad, but so far he's had pretty good luck with it.
And Mamgar is heading into Primrose's chapter 1, which is pretty much the quickest chapter 1 in the game as long as you're not starting as Primrose. You can basically, you have this, she's right there at the dungeon, and then you have this pretty short single screen dungeon, which you can get through without an encounter. Mamgar, unfortunately, not. He actually got it relatively early. I've seen it earlier, but
yeah, it is possible to not get an encounter on the screen, but it is like 70% chance to get an encounter, so it is pretty likely.
I want to say it's about 50, but that's just me. But either way, it's not a huge deal. They're not going to kill you or anything. And then the Primrose's Chapter 1 boss, Helganesh, will go down with Soul Stones really quickly as well. I think it's 1L and 1M. It might be a light L. It might be a light L 100. You have to use a light L, but to kill the mooks here is the main reason you use the light L. Oh. Okay. Oh, right, because it's 3-character and they're less. In a 4-character, you actually have to use a light an M-stone there, but in 3-character, you can just kill it with a single light L and they're done.
So yeah, that will be the fastest chapter kill boss that you'll probably ever see. Just single action and they're dead.
Now he's going to Goldshore and he's probably going to do Grandport and Lock right now. That's my guess. Whereas Polo is heading back down toward Cobble. He's not going to go to Cobblestone. He's actually probably going straight to Saint's Bridge, right?
Yeah, he's going straight to Saint Bridge to start Ophilia's Chapter 2.
So I want to say Polo's slightly in the lead right now. It's still a little hard to tell, depending on what happens with the battles here, because he got this unfortunate. That encounter is actually pretty rare. No, wait, that's the Ripple Tide. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this encounter is actually pretty likely. It's one of the more likely encounters.
It was in Cobblestone. I'm sorry. The next screen, though.
Yeah, the next screen is the rare one.
The next screen is pretty rare to get. Mamgar's on a screen that you can get an encounter, and it's really unfortunate when you do, because the likelihood of you being able to run away from it is something like 1%. It's really low. I've gotten it, but it's not going to happen likely.
So one nice thing about it is if you do get an encounter and it kills you, at least it kills you fast, so it doesn't waste too much time.
Yes, the birds will just hit you hard, and they like to hit you, so you're probably going to die pretty quick. You're not going to survive a hit from them regardless. So I would say Polo's now in the emphatically in the lead, because he's over past Sunshade, and Mamgar's still over at Grandport. He's going to buy the Unerring Bracelet, which will give you just a little bit more safety to be sure you can don't miss things. Yesterday, someone got an unfortunate miss.
Thanks. Yeah, Unerring Bracelet. We should cancel that instead. So yeah, look. So Mamgar is going to be. Oh, so something we didn't mention is Mamgar got the 30%. I believe that was an allure for inhibit defenses. So inhibit defense is something we're going to see very, very useful. It is the cornerstone of RNG in this route. We need it in order to deal the necessary damage to kill quite a few of the bosses.
Right.
And
especially with one merchant, I think inhibit defense is pretty much 100% necessary, or not going to survive long enough to kill a boss. in the with.
So now we're in Saints Bridge, Ophilia's Chapter 2. So there's quite a few things we need to pick up here, especially for the 3-character inhibit route. So the first thing we're going to see Polo picking up is there's a person that we have to scrutinize right here, which is a 50% chance. And we do this so that we're able to allure an inhibit against this person. Wow, that is quite a few fails. That is unfortunate.
Oh my god, 5 failed. It's 50%, you say?
It is 50%, and we just saw 5 coin flips that failed. That is Quarterfinals marathon RNG for you.
That is some marathon luck in a tournament, I guess.
So unfortunately, that means he's going to have to restore his reputation, which is going to cost him 8,000. Luckily, there's plenty of backup to go get the 8,000 that we need, but it is definitely unfortunate that that did happen.
Yeah, that's a 3.1% chance, by the way.
Yeah, usually the one that you see fail is the one that he's going to do now. This one is only a 30% chance, and we need him in order to buy some items.
Right.
Let's see if he's a little bit nicer.
Oof. Yeah.
So
I think he's just gonna have to reset at this point. Yeah.
That is
pretty unfortunate.
Yep. That is never seen this before.
Yeah. On the other hand, Mamgar, that allowed Mamgar to catch up, and he's gonna do the scrutinize as well. He isn't gonna need the guide with these person, however, because he has Primrose's allure person. Oh, and okay, Mamgar got it.
Yeah, Mamgar did manage to get it, but it was a little bit closer than he would have liked, I'm pretty sure.
I want to say Mamgar's ahead now.
Yeah, it's most likely at this point Mamgar is ahead because, yeah, Polo just got very unlucky. It's unfortunate.
Wait, what happened there? I thought he got it. No,
Oh, he must have not got it.
Oh, he didn't get it, but what happens is sometimes if you do it so quick, the pop-up of the... What's the word? Of the number of times is like one behind because you're doing it so quick.
And Polo just failed again. This is
some really bad luck here.
At least they're both getting bad luck, but wow, I've never seen this before. This is ridiculous.
This is pretty ridiculous, yes.
Alright, so Polo's going to try for the 3rd time, and Mamgar still has to go get that scrutinized because he
Polo still hasn't gotten the guide with these person either, don't forget.
Yeah, so... I don't even know what to say. So, yeah, well, wish Polo the best of luck.
Mamgar got it.
Yeah, Mamgar.
And now he's off to the Mirkwood. This upcoming screen is an interesting one because you have a decent chance of a battle, and it's very easy to kill. You just throw an L-stone. Usually, a runner, if they don't get the battle, will simply do the same and quit. So it's one of those interesting things because it's actually quicker to get the battle and kill, but it's also waste time to run around waiting for the battle.
So Polo finally got his 30% on, I believe that was the 12th try, and now he's going to go try the 50% that he wasn't able to get earlier.
Right. Also...
And he got it first try.
You live in... Not a great chance, but you could theoretically get surprised, so it's also better to save and quit because of that. And then on the next screen, you also have an okay chance. Not a huge chance, but there's still a possibility you can get surprised here as well. This encounter you're always going to take and kill with the L-stone as well. Thankfully, the runs will route an L-stone just in case you kill out the outside, and if you don't, it'll save you one in case you need to use it later. So that's usually the other reason runners won't take the battle out there if they don't get it.
So I believe the 3-character route actually uses M Soulstone and a regular Soulstone, Ice M Stones killed the battle before. And Mamgar is caught by surprise, which commentator's curse right there, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry about that, Mamgar.
So there is a chance he might actually still be able to kill it, but We'll see, because the owls do like to lower defense, so lower offense. So yes, he was still able to get through that fight and kill it despite being surprised.
Hopefully he doesn't need that JP on Ophilia.
I don't think you need the Cyrus. If you don't get it on Cyrus, it's a big issue. But not getting it on Ophelia, I think, is okay.
Yeah, I think she'll just need Reflective Veil, and that's it. So she should be fine.
And on Polo's screen, we see that he got the Pog salamanders. Unfortunately, they're not very Pog, as they waste a lot of time.
Oof. Yeah, some really bad encounter luck in this area. Oh, and he's saving, probably because you can miss on hit just with normal attacks.
So unfortunately, the salamanders did kill him, Polo, because they used Swallow Hold twice, which meant that they healed up the damage that they dealt. Normally, a Soulstone M and a regular Soulstone would have killed them, but since they both used Swallow Hold to heal, unfortunately, Polo is going to have to do that screen again. Mamgar is going into the Quaterfinals fight. This fight is pretty simple. It's pretty much scripted. We just break them. Oh, as I say that, the spearhead missed.
Yeah, so you need to get inhibit defense for an optimal fight. If you don't, you can simply use a couple extra L stones, and it's not a huge deal, but you need to make up those L stones somewhere. And without Tressa, that's not even necessarily that easy. So that's probably why I say he might not be able to afford the extra L stones. I'm not sure on that. And there's no, okay. I was gonna say that's the inhibit. That wasn't a stone, no.
So it looks like Mamgar is making up most of the
damage.
He's gonna
do it anyway. Again, he has low enough health that the difference is just a couple stones, and it's not a huge deal. It's usually pretty killable regardless.
It also helped that Flurry Girl decided to use Flurry instead of her basic attack, which helped make up the damage missing for not getting inhibited defenses.
That does about, what, 3,400 or so? So that's pretty good.
Sizable amount.
Yeah, that's definitely
and Polo also gets caught by surprise. They are just not having good luck today.
This is something, that's for sure. And Mamgar finishing up chapter 2. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
yeah, unfortunately, this does put Mamgar quite a bit ahead due to Polo's just absolutely horrendous RNG.
Right, and now Mamgar is going to go buy some empowering bracelets. These give 500 HP apiece, and 2 of them are pretty much required for the last 2 bosses, or you're not going to survive.
Yeah, the whole reason that this route works is because we were able to pick up those 500 HP bracelets and put them on everyone, which allows them to survive the AoE attacks from both the Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 boss, so they are very important.
Yeah.
Luckily, Pole's managed to get through the encounter and Merkward on his second attempt, and will be making his way to Quarterfinals.
Yeah, and Mamgar starting Chapter 3, which is going to probably pick up. He's going to do another scoot for an L stone. He's going to pick up some cash, normal stuff. What's an interesting point is, so at the end of the, I guess, story part of Chapter 3, you're so far away from where you have to be in Goldshore that it's quicker to warp to somewhere else. Oh, wait, he hasn't tagged Grandport yet. I was going to say he was probably just going to go to Lock, but he hasn't even gone to Grandport yet, so I don't know what he's going to do with that.
So over on Polo's side, I see that Polo decided to go for Holy Light, which is a safer strat. Normally you would just use Spear, but I think RNG has been cruel enough to him that he's decided that, no, I'm not dealing with this. I'm just going to Holy Light. So at this point, the fight for him is completely scripted. We just chuck 3 soul stones at this person, this Wolfie, and then use higher health veterans, and that just kills it. Yeah, magic will never miss. Magic is always 100%, so using Holy Light is guaranteed. Oh yeah, and he does collect to make up. Oh no, actually in this route you do need that collect. So that's a part of the route. Polo was able to kill that boss with no real trouble at all.
Oh, he did go to Grandport. Okay. All right, he's going to go to Lock of the Lost King, which grab another Elstone, grab some more money, 30k, I believe. Whereas Polo's finishing up Chapter 2. And his shopping won't be until after the Chapter 3 cutscenes. Right?
Yeah, we utilize what Melodia mentioned earlier about how far the cutscene is away, and go to Saintsbridge instead of Grandport to buy the necessary items and then warp back, as opposed to going to Grandport.
Right. Oh, he's also going to go to the Atlas Dam, and I'm guessing grab Flurry Girl? No. This is not Flurry Girl. I don't know what that NPC does, actually.
I do not know what the NPC does either, so we're going to find out together.
Going to Purgation, perhaps? That's really the only reason to go up that way.
It is possible that he's picking up the Purgation L now.
Yeah. We're sorry, we don't know this Tresserless route very well. It's not. It's only a couple people have really run it.
Yeah, it's one of the more niche runs of this game for sure.
But I like that. I find it very interesting that there's so many routes and they're all they're not. Obviously, there are some that are obviously faster, but I do like that they're somewhat close. Even the 4-character routes aren't that much longer. We're talking, a couple minutes, really, in the long run for a good run. Oh, he's just getting that stone. You could also pick up a Tempest Amulet if you need a little extra money. And now he's going to make the trip to Whispermill right now, very early. So this walk, it makes sense since you're already at Purgation. This walk, you're 100% guaranteed to get an encounter. But what's good is that it's also going to 100% be this encounter with the Plains Drakes. And these guys, you can, I'm guessing he got the, I was going to say, normally you get the Flurry Girl for these.
So he has 1,000 Spears, which also works just as well as Flurry Girl to break them.
Right, so basically they're weak to Spears and Arrows. They'll only use, not only, but most of the time they will use basically inhibit defense on you. And so they'll not, usually on the first turn you won't die from these guys. And he does manage to get the break without getting hit, that's nice. And he's going to tag Whispermill and then go finish up Chapter 3. polocascroute is doing some Grandport shopping and collecting. Meanwhile, I'm going to grab the money up here and the item that's literally just an item in money in item form. That's how I like to think of it.
So we're about to see them sync up a little bit for pretty close, as they're about to both. Actually, no. I forgot Polo has not got to Saintsbridge yet, so he's going to have to go buy some items. So.
Right. He's going to buy these, and then he's going to guide a character known as the Warrior Wart, which basically does the same thing as the NPC Primrose Lord, outside of the fact their normal attacks are different. But in the context of this run, they're both used for the inhibit defense, which is what they're needed for.
I just noticed that Polo is not buying the Enduring Bracelet, I believe. I did not see him pick it up. So, I mean, that is perfectly fine. Likely why he's doing that is to make up the money that he lost for the failed
Empowering bracelet. I'm sorry, I was like, wait a minute, you have to get the empowering bracelets.
Yeah, he got the empowering bracelets, but I saw him equip 6 empowering bracelets, which means he did skip the enduring bracelet, which means there's a little bit more RNG in this fight, but it's still very manageable.
Right. Yeah, if he had to lose a little money, yeah, it happens. Mamgar, meanwhile, is almost up there. He did more saving and quits. Did not get the encounter outside, which is good. That encounter outside can happen, maybe 20% chance or something, and it can ruin your day. You can break it if you know how, but it's just one of those. It's just like, no.
Yeah, there are a few encounters that are a little bit quick, but most of them are very slow. So you can still break them, and usually have enough HP to break them, and it's better than dying, but it still wastes a lot of time. You just don't like to see it.
And these guys, interesting thing about this boss, since they're two full-powered bosses, they made their HP less than the other Chapter 3 bosses. So basically you only need a little bit of extra damage on top of the normal vets. I think one has 28k and one has 32k, and vets does about 25k, so...
Yeah, so you're able to get through this fight just using one hired help veterans, and depending on inhibit defenses RNG, either 1 or 3
Soul
Stones.
Yeah. Now they're both on the boss, so Polo actually caught up pretty well.
Mamgar already has Whisper Mill, so he has a little bit more head than you can see here.
Yeah, that's true.
So the fight's going very smoothly for Mamgar. He got his inhibited defenses, killing the first one.
That was pretty much a textbook fight right there.
Absolutely. So Mamgar is able to get through the Chapter 3 fight with no real difficulties. Polo still hasn't got the inhibited defenses that he needs. I think he's trying to think of how the damage numbers work in his favor.
Yeah. Unfortunate. There's just been a lot of unfortunate luck in this runs, and both of them, but especially on Polo's side.
So he does still have another chance at inhibited defenses here.
If not, he's just going to have to use a couple extra soul stones.
And he got it. So he's able to get a clean fight in this as well, and only have to likely use 1 extra soul stone to kill these. Meanwhile, Mamgar is just finishing up Chapter 3 and will be likely making his way to Chapter 4 immediately afterwards.
Oh, and he duped it. Basically, he put a skill called Endless Items on Osiris, which gives you a 25% chance of saving the item that you used. So he's going to have that L stone and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, saving it is really useful because while you don't need many extra soul stones, it helps alleviate RNG on the final fight, which, given how bad his RNG has been so far, it's always nice to have safety.
Yeah. It's the more L stones you have, the safer you are, effectively. And obviously, there's a point where you simply are not going to have enough damage output, no matter how many stones you have, but if you get that bad RNG, but it certainly helps to have more. I kind of was down 1 or 2 that could have won me the fight, I think, on my match, but unfortunately, I had used extra earlier and it just didn't work out. But
Mamgar is rolling through Chapter 4 quite quickly. He's going to the final dungeon of the area, so there is a slight... before that, he's going to go pick up the safety money because of the failed scrutinize earlier.
It looks like he got the black staff.
Yeah, that sells for like 13 or something around that.
It's a decent amount. He needs 90-something thousand total.
You need...
you need 90,000... No, he doesn't have Tressa, so it has to be open. Right. He needs 90,000 plus. I think it's 300 for the mercs.
Yes. So yeah, you need
90,300 is his minimum, and he has over 100,000 now, so he's fine.
So he is definitely good now. Paul is going through the same counter that we saw earlier. Just like Mamgar Day, he's going to be breaking this with 1,000 spears, and should be no issue at all.
Well,
Mamgar
it
is going
can be
to...
because 1,000 spears is random. And as you can see, it only hit the one, it didn't hit the other, but...
Luckily, it's not too big of a deal because all the other characters also have abilities that could break them.
Right.
So
Cyrus and Tress are both merchants, so they both have spears, so it's fine.
yeah.
Um,
Mamgar is doing his last saving quick. He'll be picking up the last 30k from right below, and then he'll be going into the final 2 fights.
right. You need 4 vets to kill Matthias. But first of all, they're gonna be a really annoying fight with some followers of his that you can kill. I mean, you can kill them easily. They can kill you easily, unfortunately, too. If they just feel like it, they'll toss soul stones at you and say, sorry, not today. If they hit you twice with soul stones, you're just dead, and there's literally nothing you can do about it.
Luckily, the chances of that happening are pretty rare, but it does happen.
It does
really
happen.
Unfortunate when it does.
Yeah, it's... And sometimes you'll get them attacking all one person or doing a soul stone and then attacking, and then you have to heal. You need everyone alive at the end of this as well. Since they're so low level, everyone will gain a level. So everyone will be healed to full before Matthias, no matter what.
So Mamgar is able to get through the fight before Matthias with relative ease, able to break them all, and then he'll be checking a few soul stones to kill them.
Right. It's 2 M's and an L or 2 L's, depending on your stone count. Usually it's going to be 2 M's and an L because you usually need those L's for Matthias.
Polo's also now going into the final dungeon. So...
Oh, and he duped the L, so that's a good thing. So he has an extra L for Matthias if he needs it.
Yeah, that is always very handy to have.
Now he's going into Matthias, and Matthias, he can also just say no. He can just smack a character twice in the first turn, and if you don't know how to save it, you might, or if you can save it, sometimes you just can't. It depends who the character is. It depends on the turn order. There's a lot of things that goes into this fight.
Polo got a very unfortunate encounter here.
Yeah.
I believe you can still break it, but it does take quite a bit of time, unfortunately.
Yeah. You can also kill him. I believe if you break them, you can kill him with an M. It depends on the encounter. I think one of the encounters here you actually can kill with an M stone of the right kind, but...
I do not believe this is one of the encounters because of the mushroom that just has too much health.
Yeah, no, the mushroom you can't. The bats are pretty squishy, but yeah, and then he broke it, so he's good. Okay, so Mamgar's in the final fight. He actually did not get double tapped, so he's starting off good. And he got the inhibit, and he got it twice, so he's probably golden.
I think he... Oh, yeah, he did get it twice, and he just got it a little bit delayed. So yeah, inhibit defenses will pretty much ensure that he gets the damage that he needs. Though he might actually need one more depending on how things work out, because he is
Yeah, because he does only have 1 merchant, so that might be a point.
Actually, he should be able to get through this without it, because you can use 1 merchant every turn to break the... on the 2 turns, so with 2 breaks you should be able to kill it. Polo is now going through
the way the damage works out, you can actually do 2 turns of mercs without him being broken, and you're still fine. Like 2 of the 4 hits on mercs, I mean. Like you do on one of the turns, if you break him with mercs on 2 of the hits. That's how the armor corrosive route does it, and it works out. Damage-wise.
So Polo's now also going into the Matthias fight, slightly behind, but...
Yeah, if they both get it first try, they're not too far apart.
I think, let's see, it looks like Mamgar is likely cleaning up this fight right now.
Yeah, I think he just needs 1 more vets and a couple soul stones, and he should do it.
Yep, Mamgar has got this fight secured as far as I can tell. He'll just be chucking
this should
last soul stones, and then the hired help should kill it.
Should kill, yes.
Yeah, especially with the fact that he duped the stone earlier, so he has this
and
fight
Mamgar's
secured.
done.
Oh, unfortunately, Polo got double tapped, so Ophilia's died, which you can still easily recover from this state as you have enough turns to break him. Unfortunately, it does delay the fight a little bit as you're not able to get hit if the defense is down and you're not able to use vets.
Yeah.
But it's still not the end of the world.
To Mamgar, though.
GG to Mamgar.
Let's see if he wants to come into the chat. Oh, sounds like he's here. Hello, Mamgar.
Howdy.
So, you know, you got some bad luck. First thing is, you got some bad luck on that scrutinize. I forget. You had to reset once, though, right? Just the one?
Just resetted reputation once.
Yeah, so, and Polo, unfortunately, he missed the guide completely. He had to restore rep. Then he missed the scrute completely and had to reset. And then he missed it again and had to reset.
So yeah, this entire this run was just bad RNG on both of your parts. It was ridiculous to just see how things played out. What were your thoughts when you were going through having to do rep restore? What was your thoughts on that?
You know, at this point, I usually expect it with Ophilia runs. My Ophilia runs are tragically bad a lot of the time. I thought I was going to have enough money to not need to grab the Giant's Club, but I had to grab it anyway.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate that you did have to pick up that because of it. Here over at Polo screen, we'll see him just cleaning up the fight, and that secures the win right there with higher health veterans.
Polo is done. Nice.
The whole stage kind of got set when I got caught by surprise and Whistlewood, then get a cake the first encounter afterwards.
that was the trolls, huh?
That was the game just telling you, haha, I got a cape, but you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, but it was actually really funny. Let's wait till Polo comes in. Is Polo going to come in? Let's see, because I want to tell you both this at the same time. Because that was something really interesting. He's in the setup. Let's see. Hello, Paul. So I wanted to tell you both this. Both of you, when you got to Whistlewood, you basically got to Whistlewood at the same time. Then you both got literally the same encounter and both got surprised from it. That was something. But then, unfortunately, Mamgar got frogs, but Polo got the same encounter and he had to kill it. So he got the better Whistlewood luck. But then, that run of yours, Polo, you got some real unfortunate luck there.
So, Polo, tell me about Saints Bridge. What's your thoughts about that?
I hate Cyrus.
Can we cancel Cyrus now?
Yeah, I'm very on board with canceling Cyrus.
It's like the first time I don't have the scrutinize after go to the tavern.
Yeah, but that was
what the fuck?
Ridiculous. Yeah, I've like never seen something like that.
So I calculated, even for just the guide alone, missing all 5 is 3.1%. Just missing the 5 guides, and then you miss scrutinize 10 times on the 30%. That's pretty low as well. It's that was some epic bad luck there. Otherwise, I mean, your run did have a number of other issues with bad RNG, but it was a pretty solid. Your execution was fine, though.
Ultimately, a lot of this came down to who got the better RNG, as Ophilia tends to do.
For sure. I think if you look at the difference in time, I think if they had both gotten reasonably normal RNG, it would have been a lot closer.
So, Polo, how do you feel about your run as a whole?
I don't know. My RNG was really bad. My sandwich was shit.
That is definitely
And
a word for it.
my late game was correct, but that's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got so many unlucky surprises, so many
Yeah, you
unlucky.
just,
Yeah.
and then at the end, Matthias just to say, "Hey, Ophelia, do you like the taste of dirt?" You recovered from that nicely though, so that's good.
So Mamgar, it's interesting to see you're canceling Tressa route. What made you decide to do this route and diverge from everyone else?
I mean, to route it out or to use it?
To actually use it.
Well, it's the route I was more familiar with, so that's the one I wanted to stick with. It's a little bit slower than the regular 3-character route, but I just didn't want to jinx myself by trying something new and interesting.
No, I mean it makes sense to do what you used to. That's why I did the 4-character route myself. I didn't want to 3-character route. I just never really done, and I didn't. And I thought, I actually didn't realize how much this 3-character thing would blow up. So I just stuck to the 4-character. I actually was going to originally do Therian myself, but then I saw everyone was doing either 4-character lure or 3-character, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be that slow, so I'll just do the allure and cards fall what may.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see both of your runs side by side. The run was pretty close until the route divergence started happening, and then RNG did RNG things to everyone, but a little bit more to Polo.
Polo was actually a little ahead until he started failing those scroots.
Yeah, it just cost him so much time. It was ridiculous.
Right.
It's really how it is. That's how Ophilia is.
It is how Ophilia is.
That's how RPG speedruns in general are. I want to say I can't think of any RPG speedruns that don't have some really annoying, lots of RNG that can just screw you. I've seen FF4. They're like, FF4. It doesn't matter that they're behind. Anything can happen. Like FF4 can just give you back attacks, and all this stuff. So similar. It's the same thing. And then you also got surprised in. You both got surprised in Mirkwood. That's pretty rare to see both runners get surprised in Mirkwood. That was another unfortunate.
So yeah, any final thoughts, both you, Polo, and Mamgar?
I never had some. My run was like the baddest run I ever had in Ophilia.
I have to agree with that. I've never seen a run go that tragically before. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was worse RNG than my early runs. I was screaming. Yeah, that's it just. But what can you do?
Yeah.
Just so now that you're retired from Ophilia, what are you planning on doing next?
I'm going to run bingo Mario Odyssey bingo for the next tournament. I quit Octopath for a moment.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all for what happened there.
Yeah, we actually have some new rooting fun with some new categories that are on the boards now. But that's probably not ever going to be featured on this channel, so maybe we don't have to worry about that. I guess if that's it, any other final thoughts, Mamgar?
Thanks for the race, GG and all that.
Yeah, GG for sure. Congratulations on the win, Mamgar. You'll be facing the winner. Actually, I think you'll be facing Zero next as your next opponent.
Yeah, I believe so. And we still have 4 more in the other bracket. They have not been scheduled yet, so we do not know when those are going to be. But you know, if you just subscribe to all the Speed Gaming channels, you'll get notified when it pops up. So I guess that means we are done. So until then, this is Melodia signing off. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, both of the runners. Congrats on the win, Mamgar, and congrats on Ophilia retirement, Polo.
Thanks.
All right, bye.